Welcome to this week's edition of Streaming News, things affecting the cord-cutting community, and we have some big headlines today, starting with Netflix finally offering a price cut in certain regions. We also have Pluto TV now deemed illegal in certain circumstances. We have Amazon requesting third-party information on your streaming applications. We have the brand new updated Google TV interface for your Chromecast and other devices. And finally, we have a Plex update with some more free channels. Let's start with this one. So the MPA, the Motion Pictures Association, are saying that Pluto TV M3U playlists actually facilitate piracy on a massive scale. Now, I would have never thought an application or the channels offered through Pluto would be deemed as something potentially illegal, but what they're saying is if you look at the terms and conditions of Pluto TV, they have this writing that you must access its content using approved methods such as the official applications. Now, if you didn't know, an M3U playlist is basically a list of channels that you can then load up with your favorite M3U player and access that content. And the benefit of accessing those channels via the M3U method is you don't see any adverts. So you can see why something like this would be very popular, but they're now actually taking it to the next level and saying if you're going to access these free channels using any other method other than the official applications, you're actually doing something illegal. So pretty shocking, to be honest, guys. And they're saying that they actually sent a copyright complaint to this particular GitHub repo which was hosting these particular M3U playlists. But it looks like anybody using these M3U playlists is now potentially in danger of having those methods shut down. I mean, it does sound a bit heavy-handed, but these big organizations, these big associations, they basically own these companies, these applications, access to licenses content, and the way they make their money is typically by serving adverts. And if you're going to bypass that using these playlists or other methods, you can see why they are pretty angry and they want to shut you down as soon as possible. Next up, we have Netflix actually listening to customers and reducing the price of its subscription packages in more than 30 countries. This was posted one day ago on the BBC News, and we can see that they've cut the prices in more than 30 countries in parts of Asia, Europe, Latin America, Sub-Saharan Africa, and also the Middle East. And one of the factors is obviously with the increase of the cost of living in different households, people are really struggling to pay for so many different streaming services, especially with lots of these services actually recently doing a price hike. We can see why Netflix have now actually decided to reduce the price, but only in certain countries. And we can see in some cases the price was actually reduced by half. So fair play to Netflix. I mean, they are offering some discounts to some customers in some regions, but would it be nice to actually get that price reduction in the UK and also USA. Next up is the big one. So Amazon is working on a feature for apps to explicitly share your viewing activity with Amazon. Now, it does sound pretty scary, but if you understand the sort of logic behind this, if you start an official application like Disney or Netflix, then the next time you press the home key, anything that you were previously watching will now appear on your home screen, giving you the ability to continue watching. Now, with this feature of you sharing your viewing activity, it's now going to be available to more applications. And if you want to opt in, your particular application can do that. So it's not going to be automatically enabled. It's something that firstly has to be baked into the application that, yes, I want to allow my application to share your viewing data with Amazon. But secondly, you also need to enable this feature for each individual application. And we can see that Amazon has dedicated rows to keep track of what you've been watching recently. But it's obviously not really for third-party applications. Now, obviously, I don't think this is going to extend to the more exotic third-party applications, but just having this feature on more applications for the people that do use them, I think it will actually be a welcome change. And here's the key point. So if the potential of sharing information between your Fire TV apps and Amazon, if you are concerned about that, as rightfully you will be able to disable the sharing of all viewing information between apps if you want to. In fact, do leave me a comment below if the news about Amazon potentially sharing your viewing data is something that concerns you, or are you really not bothered? Next up, we have Google TV finally getting an update to their home screen where they've now started shuffling some of the content. So we can see before you had at the top, you had access to your movies, your other content, your shows. But with this new update, this will now be moved further down the screen. So yes, we can see that the movies and shows buttons, which were previously at the top navigation menu, is now going to be moved further down just below the continue watching row. And we can see here what it will look like. I mean, the home screen, in my opinion, just looks very cluttered anyway, with some of those, sponsored applications, some of those recommended things to watch, and just all around adverts. So any kind of change is probably welcome, but I think really they need to allow more customizations, like maybe, for example, giving the customer the option to opt in that I don't want to see any recommended applications, I don't want to see any recommended content, in fact I don't want to see any adverts. But as you guys know, with these cheaper devices, these Google TV, Chromecast, also the Amazon devices, a lot of the money is made back on the devices by showing us the home screen adverts. In fact, do leave me a comment below if you are somebody that uses the Chromecast with Google TV and why you decided to pick that over the Firestick. And lastly, we have Plex adds 6 free streaming channels. So that always is a great thing about these official streaming applications, that even if you're not necessarily happy with the content on day one, because they're official, they do typically get updates, more channels, free movies, more TV shows. All of that content does get added with further updates. So it's definitely worthwhile checking these applications and seeing with the latest update, have they now added in content that you may be interested in. And we can see that the Plex engine keeps humming along. It announced on Thursday that's going to add 6 new channels to its lineup. And we can see that Plex has over 16 million users worldwide, and it doubled the amount of free ad-supported TV channels offered in 2022. So it just goes back to what I'm saying. These applications really are bundling in more channels, more content. They know people are interested in official ways, legal ways to watch free content. The more eyeballs they can get onto their content, showing those adverts, and then potentially try to entice you into signing up for premium offerings or premium services, they can do that. So, and lastly guys, let me also share a super special offer whereby IPVanish are now offering a massive discount where you can get complete protection for unlimited devices, all of your Fire Sticks, your phones, your tablets, your Android TVs, complete protection, really fast speeds, confirmed zero data logging at under $3 a month. So really at that price point, to get total protection, to change your IP address, access geo-locked content, I think this offer is definitely worthwhile checking out. So do have a look in the video description and pinned comment. Do leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about this week's episode of Streaming News, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.